A lawsuit has been filed in federal court by a group called Protect Democracy against Ron DeSantis' Stop Woke Act, which of course goes into effect this Friday. So here's the thing about the Stop Woke Act. This is the piece of legislation that actually makes it illegal, makes it a crime for a business, for a school, whoever it is, doing any kind of training. It's a crime if you make somebody feel guilty about their racist history here in the state of Florida. So if you're talking about race issues and the white people start to feel guilty about what white people have done to black people or native people in the past, you've broken the law here in Florida. If you're talking about the LGBTQ community and you make straight people feel guilty about how that community has been treated, you've broken the law here in the state of Florida. And of course, this is massively oppressive. So the group filed the lawsuit seeking to overturn this legislation. As we have seen from the United States Supreme Court in just the last 2 weeks, if this were to make it to them, they're going to uphold it. So that's also terrifying, because that is essentially going to say that, yes, this is perfectly legal. Everybody else, you're free to do this as well. Which is one reason why, while I do support these lawsuits, part of me hates these lawsuits because of how rigged our court system is. Like, we all know how this is going to end, and it's not going to work out in the favor of the American people. But here's the thing about the Stop Woke Act. Making these people feel guilty about, I'm guilty because I'm white and white people have been bad. That's not actually a problem here in the state of Florida. It's actually not really a problem anywhere in this country, because that's not what people are intentionally doing. If you internalize guilt after hearing about things that have happened in the past, that's on you, right? You can't legislate that. You can't legislate people's feelings. But Ron DeSantis thinks he can. Now, the real problem here, again, as I say, this is addressing a problem that doesn't exist, but it does create a whole hell of a lot of problems for businesses, for schools, for all kinds of places here in the state of Florida. Because now they've basically given white people a get-out-of-jail-free card. Anytime they don't want to have to participate in something, they can just say, I'm feeling guilty. Nope. You're violating the Stop Woke Act here. You can't teach this lesson. You can't send us to this special training that the business requires for, racial sensitivity or anything like that. You can't do it. So, I win. That's what this does. And of course, it puts the school districts, it puts the businesses, it puts them on their heels so they can't properly teach their employees, their anti-discrimination policies, which of course are also codified into federal law. So this creates a whole hell of a lot of problems. It creates problems where none had previously existed, and that's the entire point of this legislation. And again, I'm terrified to think what the court system is going to do to it once they get their hands on it. I would love for them to strike it down and say, nope, this is unconstitutional. It's a violation of freedom of speech. You can't do this. But I have zero faith in our court system these days. So I'm afraid that if it makes it all the way to the top, which I know DeSantis will appeal it as far as he can if he loses, I'm afraid this theocratic Supreme Court is going to say, yep, this is perfectly legal. Why don't you go ahead and do this too, other red states? That's my big fear from this lawsuit. This is Hattie. Hattie wants to know why you have not subscribed to our channel. You obviously like our videos, so do us a favor and subscribe.